Attention, all curious minds, innovators, and trendsetters. It's time to pause, lean in, and get ready for an extraordinary journey as we dive deep into the fascinating realms of life, technology, entertainment, and business. Let's explore, learn, and grow together. Brace yourselves, for the next thrilling episodes of Hipther Talks is about to take off. Counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
Hi everyone, Zoltan here. We're back again this week. This week actually is going to be very interesting because we are going to talk about something which also it's in our diary. It's RegTech and also KYC. So I have Andrew Yates, CEO at FullCirl. Hi Andrew, nice to have you here.
Nice to be on the show.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. And after we seen the news last week, we quickly jumped on board and wanted to have your opinion and talk to you about your recent endeavors. So for those who don't know, before I ask Andrew to give a short, let's do it now. Andrew, just do a short introduction of yourself and FullCirl, of course.
So I'm Andrew Yates. I'm the CEO, one of the co-founders at FullCirl. FullCirl came about in July 21 when we put together two companies, Artesian Solutions and Dudil, both known in the industry for different things. Artesian perhaps more known around the RevTech space, kind of sales intelligence, customer intelligence, and Dudil more around the KYB space. So we put those two companies together to create FullCirl, and the exciting announcements in the last few days is starting to really help us complete out the vision we had for FullCirl, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more about in a moment.
All right. So yeah, just recently, yes, FullCirl, it's a customer lifecycle intelligence platform, right? Has acquired W2 global data solution. We worked with W2 at one of our conferences last year in Milan. Sorry, in 2019 in Milan. That was before the pandemic. So yeah, so could you start by explaining what motivated you guys at FullCirl to acquire W2?
Yeah, let me start that explanation by explaining a little bit about what we mean by customer lifecycle intelligence. So think of it really simply as super connected information about companies and the people inside them, with an emphasis on B2B. And what we hope to do by smashing all of that data together using graph database technology and creating connections in the data that aren't there at source is provide a foundation that you can use to find and win new customers, onboard them quickly, and then keep them for life. Our onboard proposition was heavily KYB centered. And what we relied upon were partnerships when it came to the KYC element, the identity verification piece. And we'll continue to work with partners, but when the opportunity to join forces with Warren and the team at W2 came along, it was too good an opportunity to turn down. We saw an immediate synergy around plugging a gap in our solution around identity verification, but we were also super interested in the voyage that Warren's been on in the consumer space, in personal finance, in gaming, in gambling, in crypto, in all of the different nuances that the team of W2 have been exploring. So the motivation was simple. We had a medium to long-term vision. This accelerates that by adding new capabilities, which are immediately available, and also the excitement of exploring new market segments and the global reach of W2, operating in 160 different countries. All of these things were real pluses for the FullCirl team, of which W2 are now part.
All right. So yeah, we know them from the gambling and gaming sphere. That's how we worked with them a couple of years ago. So Yeah. So what does this acquisition mean for FullCircle's vision to the market? Being a leader in smart customer onboarding and especially for regulated businesses, right?
Yeah, especially. I mean, that's really our niche, where our customer lifecycle intelligence comes into its own, because not only is it the kind of the facts and the figures, but it's also layered on top of that, the credit information, the risk information, the sanctions information, the anything in the adverse media space, and then we've got this mechanism that basically polls the news and social media every 60 seconds, and we're pulling together 4 or 5 million insights every day and layering those on top of all of those companies to make it easy to use that insight as a mechanism to strike up a dialogue, a conversation, or keep a conversation going, or re-engage. The interesting thing about what W2 do, aside from IDV in its own guise, is when you look at the low end of B2B customer onboarding, I'm talking about very small businesses, sole traders, the S and SME. What the financial institutions that are occupied in doing that tend to rely upon are more consumer-oriented methods to validate that you're who you are, because the DNA of the company is very scant. It's if it's a new company or a very small company, there's not a lot of information you can base a value judgment upon. So we see the opportunity to take consumer-orientated onboarding methods and apply that in the B2B space at the lower end of the spectrum, where customers we have, I'm talking now about mainstream banks and payments organizations, and some of the neobanks and the fintechs. They have this real challenge today that nobody's really ever solved in the industry. So we see an opportunity to grab a hold of that, and that's exciting too.
Yeah, and especially since the past maybe 4 or 5 years, RegTech has been trending. Until then, it wasn't really just talked about compliance talks and stuff like that. But actually now RegTech is part of everything.
It is, and it has to be. And the neat thing for the FullCircle team is, it's one of those things that isn't going to go away. If you've got to do it, right? If you're not doing it with us, you've got to do it with somebody else. I think what makes our offering complete and unique is if you hone in on the kind of industry buzzwords you've already mentioned, RegTech. We've got to play in RevTech, we've got to play in RegTech, and we've got to play in RelTech, relationship technology. So that circle, as we describe it, find and win, onboard quickly, keep for life. That's what we think describes a customer lifecycle, and it could equally apply to a consumer as a business after the acquisition of W2.
All right. So based on your press release, we saw that you have an existing 600 strong customers on board, and with this acquisition of W2, we are bringing maybe 120 more. So
122.
Okay.
And the cool thing is, and it's about 640 customers on the FullCircle site. The cool thing is there's no overlap, right? None at all. So, I mean, there are overlap in terms of some of the partners and some of the data providers, but no overlap in terms of the customers, because the value proposition for W2 is something that we have previously not catered for, not been involved in. So it's pretty cool, because W2 have customers who need KYB, and we've got customers who need the KYC, AML, and fraud detection capabilities that W2 bring, and that deep subject matter expertise in our team is also something that we're really going to covet.
All right. So basically, this is how you're going to leverage on this unique position you are in.
Yeah, and I think under the agreement, what Warren Russell, who is the CEO and founder, joins the senior leadership team as our senior vice president for commercial operations for W2. With immediate effect, we can start to engage with our existing customers on both sides to start to leverage this opportunity. In fact, cheekily, we've been positioning W2 as a partner for some weeks now, and we've already started dialogue with a couple of customers that needed both that consumer and that business capability. The combination of W2 by FullCirl and the rest of the FullCirl capabilities now bring.
All right, so you will have plenty of them because W2 is known for its deep expertise in identity verification, KYC. I think they do AML and anti-fraud services as well. So how do these capabilities enhance the FullCirl existing offerings?
What's really, really cool about the job that Warren and the team at W2 have done is they built a unique capability that allows a customer to make a choice as to which package in relation to which stage in a customer onboarding journey is the best one that's the most fit for purpose. With this really cool ability, if one doesn't kind of give you the result you want, you can roll on to the next one and keep going until you get what you need. So whether it's age verification, identity verification, whether there's any kind of sanctions checking, whether there's any kind of adverse media, whether there's whatever it is, you can go to the best source for that particular element. But the way W2 have architected the platform, the whole search, the whole pass happens in a millisecond, and all of the answers are delivered instantly. The scale at which the W2 platform operates is eye-watering. It's literally billions of transactions a year going through the platform, hundreds of millions a month, tens of millions a day, Not only can they do that, but because of the way they've architected the solution, they can do that in a really commercially attractive way to the customer.
All right, so we've been like 80% covering segments like gaming, gambling, blockchain, crypto, fintech. So can you elaborate on the new opportunities this acquisition opens up in consumer finance, like segments like the one that I mentioned, gaming, gambling, crypto?
Well, what the joining of the forces means is that we now have a pool of engineering talent, which is considerable.
It's the FullCirl.
It's the FullCirl, but in numbers, we're a 100-person organization, and 40 to 50% of that is talent orientated and focused around roadmap and continuing to advance and innovate. So, one of the frustrations W2 have faced is being a company the size they are, is they've not been able to innovate at the speed that they want to go, because the market's pretty tough at the moment to kind of get funding and be able to do that without borrowing money. FullCirl's a profitable company. We have a very close eye on unit economics. So, we're not heavily dependent on needing regular injections of venture funding or private equity. What that translates into as a customer value proposition is, that we're going to be working hard with Warren and the team as we amalgamate our teams to put a very, very strong roadmap together that will further innovate and advance the capabilities that W2 offer. There's a ton of things that Warren wants to get done, that he's got a long list of things that he wants to get done, and it all kind of fits with our vision of the things that we also want to do. W2's also got a brand new offering which we're about to announce, which allows service providers and partners to white label the capabilities of W2 and make that available to their customers. And we've got a couple of exciting announcements coming in the next couple of weeks. I'll be sure to I'll be sure to let you know, Zoltan, as soon as I can. But this ability to take effectively a portal that's been designed to be white labeled, private badged, that you can fit into an extended element of your value proposition as a service provider is a really exciting further development that's coming down the track. So hopefully I answered the question, but I hopefully added a few more dimensions to it.
All right, it's definitely the great answer. So about the team that's been joining now with the acquisition. So will you retain the W2 team, and maybe can you talk about the importance of keeping the existing talent within the new structure?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about the rationale that I talked to at the beginning of the interview, that deep subject matter expertise is something that's really, really important to us. What I can tell you is every person I've met in the W2 team so far is someone that fits really, really well into FullCirl. We've got this big thing about core values, the thing that describes a FullCircler, and we have this anagram which is called graft, and we say greatness requires graft, and the graft are letters that spell out our core values: growth mindset, resourcefulness, accountability, factual, and team. And when I engage with my new colleagues at W2, what I see is this commonality, which is a pent up energy that wants to do more and fulfill the full potential of the big idea that Warren and the team had. And we're really, really keen to continue to run W2 by FullCirl in its own right, and then over the next 5-6 months integrate that into the kind of broader picture. But we need those people, we need that talent, we need that knowledge for that to be successful. So it's absolutely critical that team comes with it. It's not an acquisition of kind of customers and revenue. It's an acquisition of a company and everything that goes with it.
Yeah, exactly. So most people must be happy to hear this.
Hopefully, I mean, they're probably still trying to work out, what those words mean. But we've done a number of things. We've had a number of all hands meetings. We've started to get together, and then we've got a good old fashioned, late summer party coming up on the horizon in the next couple of weeks, where we'll introduce a beer or two for anyone who wants to drink one, and we can get to know each other personally. W2 are based in South Wales. That's their headquarters. We've got a headquarters in Reading in the Thames Valley, and another office in London. Interestingly, W2's staff are concentrated in South Wales, but they are distributed around the country. So that works well as well in terms of the new locations that those team members can drop into.
All right. So as a final question, I'm hoping to get some sneak preview from you, because you spoke about the acceleration of new capabilities for as yet unsolved industry challenges. Could you give some sneak peek into some of these?
Yeah. So sneak peek, we've got a proposition called Smart Onboard. Mm-hmm. I would anticipate that will be heavily leveraging the W2 core capabilities before too long. For W2 customers, you'll see enhancements around KYB capabilities. Even though there's a heavy consumer focus, there is also a KYB need, which has been a little bit of a gap for W2. Most of the partnerships they have center around more consumer orientated IDV, KYC, and AML. So we're going to see new announcements pretty quickly. I would anticipate that the FullCirl API in its full glory will be available as part of the W2 API before very long, and vice versa, and then it just becomes one API with optionality. First job is to get all the documentation aligned. That's happening right now, and then we'll start to see the capabilities find their way into applications. So W2 have got a portal, as I mentioned, and FullCirl have got a suite of applications that center around finding and winning customers, onboarding them, and then monitoring them. So you can start to picture how those capabilities are going to pop up throughout that description I've just given you.
Wow, so it's going to be a busy autumn then.
Very busy, very busy.
I'm happy for you. And
but everything will be done by Christmas. That's what I told the team.
That's good.
Easy.
Just in time for Christmas.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your time, Andrew. And if you want to maybe give some shout out to the new team members, you are more than welcome to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to Warren and the broader team at W2, welcome on board. Welcome to FullCirl. You're now FullCirlers, and we're super excited about this joining of forces and what that means. What that means to you. What that means to our joint customers, and of course our shareholders are pretty excited about this as well.
Oh, of course they are. All right. So thank you once again for your time, and thank you for our listeners for joining us, and make sure to subscribe. Come back next week when we talk about other different things. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Zoltan.
And that's a wrap for this section of Hipther Talks. Thank you for being a part of our journey today. Don't forget to tune in next week for more insights and discussions. Stay connected with us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and more. Until then, keep exploring and keep growing. We'll see you next time.